Hello everyone and welcome back to my F2 2020 season in the F1 2020 game. So here today for the round in Monaco, the fourth round of the series, and you can see the championship standings dropping in at the top of the screen. We're on 85 points, 27 ahead of Felipe Drugovich, 36 ahead of Nobuharu Matsushita, the two MP cars looking very fast last time out. But let's see if we can continue the form we've had so far this season here in Monaco. So yeah, let's just try and stick the car as close to the front of the grid as possible. Very tricky qualifying around here, and as we come around to complete our first flying lap, we go P2 as things stand with Robert Schwartzman in front of us, the Prema of Robert Schwartzman. That's where I was trying to go with that. We move on to another flying lap. You can see a purple first sector getting through the Nouvelle chicane quite well as well through Tabac, and the car feeling really nice actually around this circuit. Typically I've really disliked Monaco, but in the F2 cars it is not so bad, and we go fastest on that lap.
So qualifying is complete and we're all set for an exciting race tomorrow. Your top three are Deruvela, Sonoda and Callum Ilott. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the feature race tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
And just to clear up any confusion, if you're wondering why there's only 11 cars on the screen and why we qualified second, despite being at the top of the timesheets, there are two separate sessions, and in each one you get one driver from each team. We're not exactly sure how those drivers are selected, but yeah, so we're going to be lining up this lot of drivers on the even side of the grid. There's the full grid there, and Deruvela gets pole position then. So it is a Carlin front row here in Monaco, so let's see if we can make it a Carlin 1-2 in the race. That is the ideal scenario. Callum Ilott getting a good qualifying in the opposite session to us. Felipe Drugovich staying in the fight as well. Matsushita just within the top 8, so that will be his target for this race, to try to get reverse grid pole, or potentially even higher in this one. So yeah, we'll just try to get into the race and see how this goes now, and yeah, hope that we can have a good one really. Marino Sato in 16th, that's a good effort in that Trident. Wonder if he'll score any points this season, like he did in real life, trying to finally get to 1 point in, was it Mugello? I can't remember. But anyway, nonetheless, we'll get into the race now and see how the Monaco round unfolds in Formula 2. Let's get into it.
Monaco, Formula 2 has been welcomed back to this most famous of race locations, and the excitement in the air is building as we count down to the start of today's race. So the Circuit de Monaco, 19 corners making up this famous 2-mile track. It's already one of the slowest tracks in the calendar, and in these difficult conditions we can expect average speeds to be even lower still. And even with that, it's fair to assume that we may well see the safety car out at some point during the race. I'm joined by a man who's had many a wet race, Davide Valsecchi. Just how challenging will these conditions be out there on track?
Delighted to be here, Alex. Even in this weather, nothing will be easy for them. We may have standing water, which means visibility will be a worry. They just need to stay clear of the white lines and curbs. That can cause you a real problem when it's so slippery.
Here are the starting positions for today's race. A fantastic effort from Jan Deruvela yesterday puts him on pole position, with Yuki Tsunoda alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Ilott, Drugovich, Christian Lundgaard, and Schwartzman, Matsushita, Armstrong, Ticktum, Jack Aitken, Piquet, Joe, Nikita Mazepin, and Galeo, Schumacher, Sato, Samaya, and Luca Giotto, Markelot, and Giuliano Alesi, Nissani, and Louis Delatraz starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Alright, so here we are in the grid for the feature race in Monaco. The rainy conditions are out, and this day just got a lot more difficult. I have not gotten along well with rainy conditions in Formula 2, so this could be a very tough one. I had a look at the strategy here to see if we could make a no stop, but the wet tyres in Formula 2 do not last long enough to go the duration of the race. So a pit stop will be required here in Monaco, and well, let's just hope that we can time that right, and yeah, just hope we can bring it home in the top 8. That is the ultimate goal here, I think. Because I do not have a lot of confidence in my pace in the rain. But anyway, we go to the 5 red lights. And away we go for the feature race in Monaco in the wet conditions. Deruvala's got a good start. We're a little bit slow off the line, but we will just about hold on to second place as we head into the first corner. A bit of contact there with Callum Ilott as we got to the apex, but we have managed to maintain that position and keep P2. Here's the onboard with Ilott as he tried to make some space on the inside. We were having none of it. Now Drogovic trying to get around the outside of Ilott. We covered him off too though, and now those two battling away through the first sector. But for us, you can see Deruvala already getting away from us significantly in these opening this opening first sector really, and it's just so slow and very tricky in these conditions to keep the rear tyres under control, to keep the front of the car turning into the corners the way you want is very difficult. We're being so tentative through all of these corners. Deruvala is in a world of his own now, and it's only been not half a lap in this race, and as we continue on further through this race, it is not getting much better for us as we're very tentative again on the exit of turn 1. Felipe Drogovic rather blazes straight past us there, so
okay, we've lost the position. That's us down a place.
Good opportunism there by Drogovic to make that move, but it shows how slow we are that they can just blaze past like that on corner exit, and yeah, it's just really frustrating. We just do not have any pace as we drift our way through the Nouveau chicane, and we're just trying our best to hold off all of the cars behind. Here is the slight loss of control as we flick from left to right at the chicane, and we continue on in the same mistake again, going even deeper into the chicane. This time we have to slow right down as not to get a penalty, and now Callum Ilott is down the inside as we head towards Tabac. It's got to be very tight. Bit of contact is inevitably made there, but we're still around on the outside line. As we head into the swimming pool section, we will just about maintain the position ahead of Callum Ilott. Great side-to-side racing there through one of the tightest parts of the Formula 2 calendar, and that is a miracle that neither of us got damage through that section. A little bit of contact made on the apex of Tabac, but overall that was a very clean battle there between the two of us, and we managed to maintain that position ahead of Callum Ilott, and that is just literally going to be the target, to see if we can do that as long as possible. But again, a mistake there, and this time Callum Ilott straight past us as we were well off the line there. And here is the replay on board with Ilott, and you can just see we went way too deep, tried to get back onto the racing circuit, but we came on way too steep of an angle, and we couldn't defend that position any longer. We continue on very deep into the last gas, and that was I think I don't even know who it was at this point. Was it Lundgaard getting past us? There's Matsushita grazing the wall. So he tried to make the move. It was Lundgaard that passed us before, but again with Matsushita putting the pressure on now, and it's just a comedy of errors at this point. He gets past, Robert Schwarzman gets past as well. It's a wall of spray and no visibility as we head into Mirabeau. And yeah, it's just so frustrating going backwards in this race. We just have no pace in these conditions, and just no confidence to push the car, unfortunately. So it's just about survival at this point, trying to hold on to as many positions as we can. Right behind us we've got Dan Ticktum and Marcus Armstrong battling away side by side through the hairpin, and looks like Armstrong, no, that's Ticktum rather, is going to get ahead in that battle. And as we continue on through this race, we think we got a hit from behind there as the car steps out mid-corner. Here's the onboard with Dan Ticktum, and no, we didn't get a hit. What was that? Look at this. We slightly touched the curb there, and the car just jumped sideways. We weren't even on throttle at that point. But anyway, Jack Aiken retires from the race with a mechanical failure in the Campos, and he will not finish the feature race in Monaco. That is his weekend. down the drain pretty much. But that brings out a virtual safety car, but it ends very quickly as we slide our way through the casino corner and trying to regather the car there, and we've gone a little bit too fast into the upper Mirabeau, trying to use the accelerator to turn the car. Does not work out for us, and Tictum's alongside has tipped us into the wall and out of the race.
Big one. Confirm you're okay, please.
Carlin have pulled off a sublime performance to secure the top step of the podium today. And I have to wonder, Davide Valsecchi, just what set them apart from the competition here.
Simply, they are just a better driver in the way. Here in Formula 2 we know the car are the same, so it's not down to machinery. They can just handle the weather better than everyone else. I mean, they can have the throttle open longer, they can push more, brake later, and are able to handle it all. They make it look like they have a much faster car, but it's a pure skill behind the wheel. Really incredible drive.
And there you have it, today's winners. Having raised some of the biggest names in F1 to date, Carlin have once again shown their expertise when it comes to recruiting new talent. No doubt today's winners have a bright future ahead of them. They certainly deserve it after today's performance.
So Jayan Deruvala takes the feature race win here in Monaco. It's Felipe Drogovic up in P2 with his MP teammate Matsushita in third to make it a double podium.
So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. The lead at the top has come down after a poor result for our points leader. And so, driver of the day then, Davide Valsecchi, who do you think you'd go for?
Let's give it to Jehan Daruvala. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
And here's how things are shaping up in the Teams' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from ART this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. Goodbye for now then, but we really are just getting started. Make sure you join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
Alright, so what on earth happened here? Well, let's have a little investigation. We just went deep into the corner. I tried to accelerate to get the car turning to the right, but it didn't really work. It just made us understeer further, and Dan Tictum had nowhere to go on the right. We sort of shoved him into the wall. It turned us around to the right, and yeah, we hit the wall. We had to go to the right there a little bit to avoid the wall that sort of juts inwards there as the track sort of moves right to go into the hairpin, but yeah, it was my mistake, and we paid the price for it. Really didn't leave the space, and you know, all the time you have to leave the space. So let's get into the next race.
And here we are, back after yesterday's exciting feature race for today's sprint. The top 8 from yesterday have been reversed for the grid down below, and we're almost ready to start. As we await the start of another hugely anticipated Formula 2 race, I'm joined again by Davide Valsecchi. Davide, as a former GP2 champion, can we get some insight to what is running through these young drivers' heads as they sit out on the grid?
Ciao Alex, it's a pleasure to be here. They are nervy moments, there is no doubts about that. Mental strength is the key to remaining calm and focusing on the upcoming race. Formula 2 is so competitive, and all of these drivers knows that they are going to be pushing each other all of the way. In this sport, you have to be able to control your nerves.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
I will try not to let you down. We have a lot of work to do in this race, starting on the soft tyres, which are the harder compound of the weekend. I had a little look at the strategy to see if we could make anything work on the super softs, but they are honestly so bad that I don't even know if that would work in the feature race, let alone the sprint race here. So yeah, they don't seem to last very long even in this shorter race. So yeah, it would have been interesting a little bit to see how the race would have gone if it had been dry, but unfortunately we will never know. And yeah, we'll just have to yeah, see how we can recover in this one. We had very good pace in qualifying, so I think in the dry our pace will be good enough to compete in this one. But yeah, as you can see, the strategy is not going to work on the two super soft sets. So yeah, just a no stop, and we'll just get into it and go to the 5 red lights. And the lights are out. We are underway for the sprint race in Monaco. It's a pretty average start for us, but a little bit better than what we had in the way. We go up the inside of Louis Delatraz into the first corner. He's a long way down in this race. Normally he's competing for some pretty solid points. We couldn't quite get the move done there on Louis Delatraz. We remain in second last position, still ahead of Jack Aiken. Round the outside of Delatraz. Can we quite get there? Not really. And we'll just have to stay behind for the time being. Can we make a diving move into Mirabeau as Aiken tries to go around to our side? We go up the inside of Delatraz and Galeo and Nasani. This is 3 wide in Monaco, and we've just about managed to squeeze through there. And wow, that was a move and a half into Mirabeau. Guillaume Samaya gives a bit of a touch there to one of the high-techs, Luca Giotto, and not managed to make the move there for him, but we've moved ourselves up into 17th position already in this race. Meanwhile, behind, Sean Galeo is having some issues getting moving again. There's Jack Aiken finding his way past the stricken Damscar, but he's holding up a couple of cars there at the back of the field. Here is on board with Roy Nassani, and Sean Galeo finally gets moving. Louis Delatraz held up there as well. So yeah, Roy Nassani very frustrated there behind Galeo, who took a long time to do a 17-point turn. But there we go, up the inside and making the move on Guillaume Samaya. And next up is the Italian Luca Giotto. So let's see if we can catch him in the same place. We're quite close behind into the last couple of corners. Very close there as we are just about pushing him through Anthony Noakes. But now as we head towards turn 1, Sandoval, we'll see if we can do some heroics up the inside of Luca Giotto, getting the nose in and getting the move done and moving ourselves ahead and up into 15th position. Next up is Lacey, and through the final corner we are just about pushing him through as well. It's a really strong part of the circuit for us around this start line, and you can see a little bit of damage on our nose there, but we go for the move up the inside of Lacey into turn 1, millimeters in it on the apex there between our wheels, but we do get ahead of the Frenchman, and now we literally cut on to the final lap of the race because we just could not catch the group of cars ahead of us. Our tyres are incredibly worn, and yeah, it's been a very boring sprint race unfortunately for us. I was hoping we could sort of fight our way through the field, but we just haven't had the pace. We've been sort of locked on pace with Mick Schumacher up ahead, who's had a pretty quiet weekend as well. So it's going to be a pretty lowly weekend for us. A crash in the feature race and a no score in the sprint race. It's yeah, not what I was hoping for this weekend. It'll bring the championship fight a lot closer. We may actually lose the lead of the championship to Felipe Drugovich as we go for a slide through Portier, and now we've actually got to be a little bit careful because we have lost so much time on this final couple of laps to Giuliano Alesi and Luca Giotto and so on behind us, because they are just going so much faster. Our tyres are gone. We cannot afford to push. But Pedro Piquet wins the sprint race here in Monaco from another reverse grid pole. He's had a whole host of them now and is starting to convert them into results. So well played for Pedro Piquet, and he has managed to stay out of the chaos and bring home some good points for us as we go for a big slide through the swimming pool section. Now around the outside of the final couple of corners goes Giuliano Alesi, not able to make the move there unfortunately for him, and I think he also tried to make the move on Alesi there and hit the inside wall. You can hear the clunk, but we come across the line. P15 14 rather, but I mean, what's the difference at this point? We do get the driver of the day, so I guess that's something, but yeah, we just couldn't get through the field.
So Charus have won it, and what a great race it was. Tell me, Davide, what was the key to this success?
The difference was in the strategy. Credit to the driver for sure, but races like this really drive home how much of a team sport this is. They did a lot of work on the pit wall to really make the most of each stint and to make the best use of these tires. But that said, all of that would have been for nothing without a talented hand on the wheel.
Bwah. Bwah.
Looks like they're on their way out onto the podium now, and what a result this is, and a popular one with the crowd as well. Great stuff to see the Charus team on top here today.
What a win for Pedro Piquet. He's brought home another good result for the Charus team. We may have to watch out for him in the standings at some point in the future if he keeps up this kind of form. But yeah, great result for him, Marcus Armstrong and Ilott.
After this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. Now then, Davide Valsecchi, who would you say was your driver of the day?
Let's give it to Pedro Piquet. That was a quality drive from start to finish. He can be proud of that one.
And now a look at the team standings. MP Motorsport moved to the top of the table. Meanwhile, a strong weekend from ART this time out, and they improved their position in the championship. After all this drama, you'd be mad not to join us for the next race. We hope to see you then. Take care.
So a good weekend for MP Motorsport. They take the lead of the constructors, or the team's championship rather, and we are left into P2. Deruvala moving up into 4th position in the standings though this round, so the fight is well and truly on between Carlin and MP. So let's hope that we can bring home that one at the end of the season, but it seems like it will be very hotly contested in that regard. But if Deruvala can keep up this form, and if we can rediscover it, we should be able to just about bring it home. There's a 3-wide moment with Galeo and Nassani, and you can see Jesse in the background there, Galeo getting turned around as we were 3 wide, and there's no space there to do that. And yeah, that is just the result. Bit of a racing incident really. No one really did anything inherently wrong. It just was a bit unfortunate, and the result of going 3 wide there, but we're able to make that move, you know, cleanly. So yeah, we can't really sort of take the blame for that. But anyway, we'll try and just have a better run next time out. Really, we don't really have any huge positives to take away from this one. Unfortunately, we did have some good pace in the dry, but in the wet, that really just messed up our entire weekend. Even if we didn't crash out with Dan Ticktum, I don't think we would have made it to the end in top 8. And honestly, I'd almost rather just crash out and just end the race early, because that was not fun. I'll be honest, that first race was not fun. But this second one, even though it was really kind of annoying to not be able to catch up to Schumacher and continue to fight forwards in this race, that is a slide and a half there on the exit of Portier. It was frustrating, but it was a lot more satisfying to make those moves early in the race, and you know, trying to push on towards the end and defending on the final lap. But yeah, here we go. Oh no, that cut away. Never mind. I thought we would see if Giotto hit that inside wall, but look at the train we're holding up. But other than that, not too much else left to say other than thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.